Now these 12 Brits think they've got what it takes to do Britain's top job better.
A reality TV show where all of the contestants are asked who wants to be a Prime Minister. A battle of egos and alliances. Sounding all too familiar?
Are you running for the leadership, Mr. Sunak?
But that's enough on the TV show. In this very real contest, some say psychodrama, today former Chancellor Rishi Sunak, the first to receive the magic number of backers, officially declared himself in the race to be Prime Minister, saying he was the man to fix the economy. After the former PM, as of only 6 weeks ago, flew back from his Caribbean holiday to begin another long haul.
I have been speaking to Boris Johnson and clearly he is going to stand. There's a great deal of support for him, as you will have seen.
Boris would be a guaranteed disaster.
And yet more political high drama as the two front-runners, Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak, met late last night for talks. Although what happened at the said summit seems to have stayed at the summit.
We're hearing that Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak might be getting back together. Are the band reuniting? They had a summit.
Who knows? Who knows?
Is this all a bit embarrassing for the party, sir? Well, I don't know, he said.
Also wanting to be PM, enter Penny Mordaunt, the first to declare, but currently with the least number of backers, keen to convert more to her camp today.
I'm good, thank you. Are you the person to unite the party at the moment? It's in a little bit of a mess.
I think I am. I think every candidate's going to be telling people to unite. I'm going to make them want to.
What's this about Boris and Rishi Sunak getting back together? Will you ever join them?
I have held 9 ministerial roles, 3 in cabinet. I was a minister before Rishi Sunak was even elected.
While in a matter of days the next leader will be decided, there is no end in sight for the cost of living crisis, as the National Association of Head Teachers warned the government 9 out of 10 schools in England will have run out of money by the next school year, with education among those departments told by the Chancellor to expect further cuts on October the 31st. Today, Labour accused the Conservative Party of being wholly distracted by their own dramas.
Whilst they're in this circus, millions of people can't pay their bills and they're fed up to the back teeth with this. There is an alternative to this chaos, and that's a stable Labour government. And so many people want a say, they're entitled to a say. We need a general election, not this absolute farce at the top of the Tory party.
Meanwhile, this afternoon, more high-profile cabinet endorsements, among them Nadim Zahawi, who, having just months ago told Boris Johnson to quit, today saying he wants him back. But bad news for Team Johnson. Former Home Secretary Suella Braverman said she's backing Sunak, significant given she's seen as an emerging figurehead of the party's right. Sunak viewed as a moderate. As reports surfaced that Boris Johnson had in his ring around asked Penny Mordaunt this afternoon to drop out herself and back him instead. She declined. Those hoping to be PM have until 2 p.m. tomorrow to come up with enough backers to make the shortlist. Who gets to be Prime Minister decided by Conservative Party members.
Crisis management.
But who goes, who stays? One thing is certain. Unlike reality TV shows, or general elections for that matter, there is no public vote.
Well, I'm joined in the studio now by Conservative MP Andrew Bridgen, who is supporting Rishi Sunak. It looks as if the momentum is going your way at the moment, is it?
I think so. I've seen the WhatsApp group. I think Rishi's over 150. I backed him in the summer. I think we needed him then. I think given the current economic situation, we need Rishi Sunak more now.
Because you're afraid that if it's Boris Johnson or if it's neck and neck and very tight, the markets will go wobbly tomorrow morning?
They could do, but also, Boris is quite a divisive character, I think, now. A lot of us put letters of no confidence in. 63 resignations from the government. I think it'd be very hard for many of us to serve under Boris Johnson.
And yet I've spoken to quite a few MPs from your party who've told me that if it's Rishi Sunak on the ballot come the next general election in 2 years' time, they're definitely going to lose their seat. They think that Boris still has that magic.
Well, I think the person who's best suited to lead the Conservative Party is someone who's going to deal with the economic situation, get the country and the government through the winter, the cost of living crisis, control inflation, and that's clearly Rishi Sunak. And we were implementing his economic plan from the summer, even though he didn't win the leadership election then.
Do you accept the likelihood, looking at the polls at the moment, that come the next general election, whenever that may be, you're just going to lose it big time? I mean, a 30-point lead for Labour consistently.
I'm there's been a big reaction to the Liz Truss government, whichever way you dress it up, has been a bit of a travesty. I think the polls could turn around quite smartly.
Do you think you can turn this around?
I think we can, and I think we have a duty to. We're in this situation. We've still got the Ukraine conflict going on, the cost of living crisis, and it'd be easy to call a general election and hand it over to Labour. I'm not unconvinced that some of the candidates, that isn't their idea.
But isn't that also the morally right thing to do? I mean, constitutionally and politically, you're perfectly entitled in a parliamentary democracy to carry on until the bitter end. But you've had, this is now your second leadership contest in 2 months, your third prime minister
hoping we
in
don't,
3. Why not just go to the country?
I'm hoping we don't go to the membership. I'm hoping that Boris Johnson will put the country and the party first and stand down, not stand, and we can have Rishi Sunak as the Prime Minister early next week.
But if he gets more than 100 MPs, Boris Johnson, what's to prevent him from saying, I'm going to go to my secret source of support, and that is the membership?
Indeed, what I would... Boris Johnson isn't the bravest of politicians. If he doesn't, pretty sure he can win. I'm not sure he'll stand. I'm not convinced he can win overwhelmingly.
Amongst the membership?
Amongst the membership, that is possible. However, I would say to the membership, I supported Boris Johnson originally for leader. I would say to the membership, look, the old adage is very true. Catch me once, shame on you. Catch me twice, shame on me. I think we've had enough of Boris Johnson for quite a while.
Again, to people who don't get a vote in this, which is 99.9% of the nation, looking, into your private members' club, that's kind of what the Tory party feels right now. They will think, hang on a minute, if this goes to the wire, if this is a close contest, the markets could crash again, the pound could crash. We're all going to be suffering the collateral damage of this completely unnecessary contest.
That's why I hope that Boris Johnson actually doesn't stand. He looks at the support that Rishi's getting from the MPs, puts the country first and stands down. Ultimately, Boris Johnson endorsed and supported fully, his team supported Liz Truss. And that's why we're in the situation we are today.
And if he does make it, if Boris Johnson does become Prime Minister again, will he resign the whip or will he stay?
Well, I think him and his henchmen would be quite glad to get rid of me. They've been trying for the last 2 years.
But would you resign the whip?
It's going to be very difficult for many of us, especially if we're asked to vote on a whip to drop the investigation by the Privileges Committee, which is going to place a lot of colleagues in a very difficult situation.
Is that the biggest thing hanging over him? Is that probably the reason why he might go and get to the top job?
I think, and also the number of colleagues from the Conservative Party who put letters of no confidence in. I think that's why you've got probably some shy Boris supporters in the party. They don't want their names to come out unless he's definitely standing. He may have the numbers, he may not.
Finally, and very briefly, if he does get in, does he break your party for good? Is it over?
I wrote in January last year that Boris Johnson was an existential threat to the Conservative Party. I stand by that comment.
Andrew Bridgen, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.